The wave of social media abuse directed at players during the opening fortnight of the 2026 Guinness Men's Six Nations has cast a dark shadow over what should have been a celebration of elite rugby. Former Scotland international Jim Hamilton has described the online attacks as a disgrace, but not a surprise, reflecting a growing frustration within the sport at the toxic undercurrent that continues to surface in the digital age. The most alarming episode came after the Irish Rugby Football Union posted a congratulatory message to mark the international debut of Edwin Edogbo. The court-born forward, whose parents are Nigerian, should have been enjoying one of the proudest moments of his life. Instead, the comment section beneath the celebratory post was quickly flooded with racist abuse, forcing the IRFU to disable replies. The decision to turn off comments was widely supported, but it also highlighted a sobering reality. Rugby, a sport that prides itself on respect and inclusivity, is not immune to the uglier elements of modern society. Hamilton did not mince his words when reacting to the incident. Am I surprised? No, he admitted. They're a disgrace. But that's not a snapshot of rugby. It's a snapshot of society. His words cut to the heart of the issue. While rugby institutions and supporters often speak proudly about the game's core values, respect for opponents, referees, and teammates, those principles do not exist in isolation from the wider world. Social media has blurred the boundaries between sport and society, and with that has come a surge in abuse that players must now navigate alongside the pressures of elite competition. Edogbo was not the only target. Ireland's fly-half pairing of Sam Prendergast and Jack Crowley were also subjected to online vitriol following Ireland's narrow victory over Italy in Dublin. Across the Irish Sea, England players faced similar treatment after their Calcutta Cup defeat to Scotland at Murrayfield. In each case, disappointment over results or performances spilled over into personal attacks, with some comments crossing the line into outright racism. Ireland head coach Andy Farrell publicly condemned the trolls, calling out the abuse in unequivocal terms. England prop Ellis Genge went even further, voicing the frustration felt by many players. I hate social media, Genge said bluntly. It poisons people's minds, makes them feel invincible. The sentiment resonates across professional sport. Platforms that were once heralded as tools for engagement and connection have increasingly become arenas where anonymity emboldens cruelty. Players, many still in their early 20s, are exposed to a relentless stream of judgment, not just about their performances, but about their character, their background, and in some cases, the color of their skin. Hamilton, now a respected pundit and part of the broadcast team covering the Six Nations, was candid in his assessment. He believes rugby must speak out, but he also insists the problem runs far deeper than the sport itself. Rugby prides itself on values on the field, he said. We can't control the chaos that's going off the field in society. This isn't rugby, right? This isn't a rugby issue. It's a social problem. His point is not to absolve the game of responsibility, but to recognize the scale of the challenge. Rugby's administrators can issue statements, moderate comment sections, and support players, all necessary steps, but they cannot single-handedly fix the cultural forces that drive online abuse. Hamilton acknowledges the dual nature of social media. On the positive side, it has helped rugby expand its reach to new audiences, delivering instantaneous highlights, behind-the-scenes access, and direct interaction between fans and players. It has played a significant role in growing the sport's global profile. But it can also be a cesspit, he said. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they know what's good and what's bad. The anonymity and immediacy of online platforms often strip away empathy. A split-second decision on the field, a missed tackle, a misplaced pass, a tactical kick that doesn't come off, can trigger a barrage of abuse within minutes. For young players like Prendergast, who are still establishing themselves at test level, the scrutiny can be overwhelming at Ireland's tight when over Italy exposed familiar tensions within Irish rugby discourse. When performances fall short of expectation, attention frequently turns to the fly half, a position steeped in history and expectation. From Ronan O'Gara to Johnny Sexton, Ireland's number 10 jersey carries weight. Prendergast, fast-tracked and aside by Farrell, is viewed by many as the future of the position. Hamilton finds the rush to judgment harsh and misplaced. You can't judge any 9 or 10 when your forwards are struggling around the physicality, around the gain line, he argued. Yet your go-to is Sam Prendergast good enough? That's so harsh. He also touched on the provincial rivalries that simmer beneath the surface in Ireland. Munster Red versus Leinster Blue, suggesting that some criticism may be influenced by allegiances rather than objective analysis. Whether that is the case or not, the reality is that a 21-year-old playmaker is being asked to shoulder not only tactical responsibility, but also the emotional burden of national expectation. Sport in this country and in Ireland, to a degree, is always about what you're not good at, Hamilton observed. Whereas I look at Prendergast and see a young player that's come through the system, who's been fast-tracked because one of the best coaches in the world has seen something in him. For Hamilton, the conversation should be about development and potential rather than condemnation. He sees a wicked talent, a player capable of producing moments of brilliance under intense scrutiny. But he worries about the toll that sustained negativity can take. If I were him, I don't know how I'd deal with it, Hamilton admitted. I would struggle. That vulnerability is significant. Elite athletes are often perceived as impervious to criticism, buffered by wealth and status. In reality, many are young men and women navigating the same insecurities as their peers, only magnified by public exposure. The mental health implications of online abuse are well documented, and rugby is increasingly aware of the need to support its players beyond the physical demands of the game. Hamilton hopes that unions and clubs are proactive in shielding players from the worst excesses of social media. Whether that means media training, psychological support, or simply encouraging time away from online platforms, the aim must be to protect well-being. The issue is not confined to rugby. Football, with its vast global audience, has grappled with similar challenges for years. This week, Vinicius Jr. again found himself at the center of allegations of racist abuse during a European fixture involving Real Madrid. Such incidents underline that the problem transcends codes and competitions. As rugby continues to grow, commercially and culturally, it will inevitably attract a broader spectrum of voices. Increased visibility brings opportunity, but also risk. Hamilton recognizes that the game's expanding audience is something to celebrate, yet he cautions that growth must be accompanied by vigilance. With the good, as we've seen in other sports, comes the bad, he said. There's also a generational shift at play. Younger athletes have grown up with social media as a constant presence. For some, it is an extension of identity and brand building. For others, it is a minefield. The line between constructive criticism and abuse can be thin, but racism and personal attacks are unequivocally beyond it. Rugby authorities have begun collaborating with social media companies to identify and sanction offenders, but enforcement remains inconsistent. The speed at which abusive content spreads often outpaces moderation. Turning off comments, as the IRFU did, can feel like a necessary defensive measure. Yet is also a reminder that the digital town square is not always safe. Ultimately, the Six Nations should be about excellence, rivalry, and shared passion. It should be about young players achieving lifelong dreams, about communities uniting behind their teams, about the drama that unfolds between the white lines. Instead, the opening rounds have been punctuated by reminders that progress off the field does not always match progress on it. Hamilton's condemnation reflects a broader consensus. Rugby must continue to call out discrimination wherever it appears. Yet he also acknowledges the limits of what the game alone can achieve. The battle against online toxicity requires collective responsibility, from governing bodies, from platforms, from fans, and from society at large.